Phantasm. The delusion of a disordered mind. A phantom. A spirit. A ghost. For most of his life, a young man has been pursued by a sinister force. Now he must learn the secret of the ultimate evil.
Now it is time for you to come back to me.
You're already dead. Phantasm 3.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
You will suffer an eternity for this.
And welcome back, everybody, to another 0 Point Reviews with Kevin and Jeff. We are back with Phantasm 3, Lord of the Dead from 1994. And boy, is this a kind of a trippy little sequel, but we do get a returning Michael Baldwin, one of the good Baldwins, mind you. Just saying. And we get our most of our cast back from the first two movies, and we're off to a roaring and interesting time in this particular sequel. The Hemi-Cuda returns as well, and it's not exactly a hardtop. It is a convertible, but they have the convertible up most of the time. And we also get some cute girls in this one as well. And unfortunately, too much to Kevin's chagrin, I don't know about this, but we do have a kid in this movie. And we're going to find out what Kevin thinks about having a kid in a horror movie. As always, Kevin, kids in horror movies, what did you think about this one?
Kids ruin everything in every kind of movie. They were like, kids were pretty much why like 90% of the fucking movies from the 80s sucked ass. They're like, oh,
Monster Squad and like the Pit
Monsters
and things like that.
Yeah, those shit. Ghoulies 3, Critters 3, Critters 4.
Yep.
Let's see here. Gremlins. Shit, Gremlins had fucking Corey in it, shooting them with fucking slingshots and cutting them down with scissors and shit. And you're just kind of like, no, go back to the good part of the movie.
Yeah, and stop taking cocaine, Corey. Sorry.
Yeah, at 12. It's not funny because it's true. But anyway, I don't like kids in horror movies because they make them out to be like super clever, better than the adults. And I'm sorry, but I'm pretty quick and clever, but there are much worse bad guys than me. And I'm sure I can grab one of my kids real fast before they could fucking blink and like knock the shit out of them if I wanted to. I'm pretty sure the tall man could have fucking grabbed this kid and like ripped him in half without even exercising, like stretching, whatever. Like, the kid was kind of a Mary Sue, which whatever. He was a Swiss Army dork is what he was. But they gave him cool lines like, I'm not a kid anymore. I've seen some shit and some things.
Well, they gave him some good development, and they gave him a little more of a hard edge. Like, we've all seen Home Alone. We know Kevin McAllister and the traps he sets in the house. And it was many, many years later when they did Better Watch Out with another Christmas movie set in a house, and they do traps and they're a lot more vicious. This is the one movie that followed up Home Alone and gave you the vicious traps before any of that other bullshit in Hollywood. And they were clever traps, and he had some interesting contraptions going on, especially with the doll on the ceiling with all the knives sticking out of it, the door slamming shut, the frisbee with razor blades that cut off somebody's like throat. And he also had the wherewithal to have a freaking gun on him and actually just start shooting bitches up.
Which is
And his
funny.
dad was a sheriff, so he knew how to handle a gun, which made sense character-wise, other than, "Oh, I'm just a natural at shooting a gun. I'm just a stupid little kid. I can shoot guns and I'm perfect." No, this kid was messed up, and he learned from his dad how to shoot a gun, and he's had to put down some other scavengers before in this movie.
Yeah, I kind of felt seen with that part. Like, my dad taught me how to shoot. I'm very good with firearms. I don't own one, but I am extremely good with them. But we've talked
too,
about
and I'm pretty good at both of them. So try to invade this house like you do with that kid, you ain't even gonna make it through the front door because of our 2 German shepherds.
Yeah.
And then you got to deal with me. So if you could survive the dogs, good luck to you. Any further than that?
I went to the Doc Holliday School of shooting.
Drinking.
Paging Dr. Freud.
A surplus of whiskey into your liver.
Oh, my cousins and I, we would always, drink whiskey and go skeet shooting. Not skeet shooting, but
Skeeter is now running scared from both of us right now.
Clay pigeon shooting.
Clay pigeons. I've done that before too. That could be a lot of fun.
Fuck yeah, it is. Oh man, until one day somebody brought a 44 revolver and didn't tell anybody that they were going to discharge it, and discharged it like 5-6 feet away from me. And I didn't have ear protection on, and I didn't know, and I felt like a horse kicked me in the back of the head.
Jeez.
Oh, I didn't cry, but I wanted to. I also wanted to beat the fuck out of that guy. But it was an in-law, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So the kid didn't really need to be, and I guess I'll complain more about that later on. But my thing with the kid is he felt like he was a replacement for Mike. And I didn't really want Mike to be replaced throughout the movie. I know he's not in scene with Reggie, and Reggie needed that sidekick in a way, but I don't know. It didn't connect with me as much. Not as much as him hanging out with Mike.
Well, I think ultimately what it was going on to do, and this isn't what they do in like Phantasm Oblivion or even Ravager, although the kid does make an appearance in Ravager. So there is a cameo with him and also with a couple other characters that you don't see through Oblivion. However, I think what they were aiming for was to replicate the feeling of part 1, where a kid is being stuck in the cycle of now the tall man and getting caught in the loop. And that when Michael's time is up, then it becomes Tim's time to come up. But we never get through that because of how they handle Phantasm Oblivion. So it's like, well, what are you doing? You just discarded like 2 or 3 characters, but also at the beginning of Phantasm 3, you discarded a couple characters from Phantasm 2.
That was so unceremonious.
Boy, did they get rid of that cute blonde chick. I'm like, oh man. I mean, I watch these movies like once a year, but still, like every time I'm like, man, this is kind of brutal. Even your recast of the blonde chick didn't really work out. You had to chew her face off to make her look like somebody else.
And then you just handed him the back of the head, like, here, boss.
And Tom is just holding the head up like, yeah, this chick was pretty useless. And he just chucks the head off to the side. It's like,
yeah, you don't
my
need.
God, that's brutal, man.
You don't even get to see her face. She's that useless. Yeah. The faces Angus makes in this fucking movie.
He emotes like fucking crazy in this one. He will make you feel like he's evil.
He looks like he's constipated. Like so constipated. Like,
well, I think that's what they were aiming for. They wanted him to be a bit more angrier and aggressive in this one. Not so much with like running, but like overall intimidation tactics.
Right, because Tall Man doesn't need to run. He's multidimensional. He could blip or whatever you
you
want
kill
to
him
call
and
it.
he comes out through another portal. Boom, done. End of story.
Yeah, which they don't explain, but they start to explain that he's just one of many different things. A
The next
collection.
movie will answer actually quite a few of those questions.
Hey, that's cool. But I mean, again, just like last week, I'm not disliking this in any way. I'm still enjoying it more than I liked the first one. I think maybe now that I've seen 2 and 3, I'll go back and watch the first one again and be like, oh, okay, well, this all jives now. But the parts 2 and 3 are a lot more exciting, I think, and a lot more engaging than part 1 was. At least for me anyway. And that's
I getcha.
it's got to walk so the rest can run. I get that. Nightmare on Elm Street was the same thing. Freddy wasn't funny until part 3.
Now, is this your first time watching this movie, or had you seen this particular one before?
No, see, this was my first time watching it.
Okay.
When I bought this, this came out with part 1. That 1 and 3 both came out at the same time, and I
Yep.
bought them both. And I didn't really get part 1, and I didn't want to see part 3 without seeing part 2. And I'm super glad I stuck to that decision, because like I would not have any idea what they were talking about. But it
This is my Anchor Bay DVD. I've had this for years.
Oh, nice.
And I actually watched this again specifically instead of my Blu-ray.
That might be the one I have. I'm not sure. I have to find it. It's somewhere on the wall or on the rack over there.
This is also double packed with the UK version from years ago as well.
Neat.
I slimmed my collection down strategically. I like multiple versions of some favorite movies.
Fair enough. Exorcist 3, I think I've got 3 different copies of it now.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, brother.
Except for that was Dahmer's favorite movie.
Yeah, I know. They can make you feel a little creepy about that anyway.
A little bit, except for he had good tastes. Wait a second.
Especially the Asian variety, Kevin.
I did have Thai food this evening, yes.
And we'll see how long you last through this review with that in mind.
All right.
You need a Mai Tai.
My Tyrell food.
Bazunga.
Shit. All right. Well, let me bring this up because I've just been dying to throw this picture up.
This is so fucking cool. I love this scene.
Yeah, all the balls on the ceiling were just cool as hell. Like,
there's thousands of them.
Yeah. And they're all just chilling there, sentient, but waiting. And then they're all like basically hive mind controlled by him, right?
Yes.
To a point. Like they get orders and then they get to go out in their own recognizance.
Yes. And later on you find out he's got one of the gold spheres in his head, and that's one of the Supreme Commander kind of spheres. It's kind of almost like a little bit of a lift from Battlestar Galactica, the original show, where you had the silver Cylons, and then you had the gold Cylons, and then you had like the quote-unquote lizard godlike creatures later on. This is almost kind of following that kind of motif.
Interesting.
Especially when you evaluate the creature tentacles that come out of the head from time to time, or you cut off the hands and they turn into little hand scorpions.
Yeah, those are cool. The
ingenuity, like that.
The ingenuity in this is fun. I love the puppetry. And it's even if they do, like you said, with where they turn the hands into scorpions, they've cut his fingers off and turned that into a fly or something different. It's always something of the same nature where they're dismembering him, but it's always something different and more grand every time it transforms into something else. Like, of course, like you said, now first you think it's like Ash's hand, but no, they're scorpions. With the wrist is a mouth and the middle fingers got a whipping tail, and you're like, wow, this thing's a little intense and insane and crazy.
Some definite homages going on in this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And last week you had me a little nervous. Like when you'd said that things go kind of wonky and crazy for the turn, I wasn't really quite sure what to make of it. Like,
Little on the campy side is what I meant, mostly with like the kid, and sometimes and the humor gets a little bit more ramped up than it was in previous sequels.
a little bit, yes. The only area I would have taken it as far as campy is like you said, the kid,
Yep.
and the nunchucks. The
Oh,
nun
I was gonna bring that up at some point because I know you're Captain Nunchucks over there.
I do. I love nunchucks. Like Ken Scott is my fucking hero. I hurt myself really bad, and I got to tell Mr. Scott that I wanted to be him so much, being Michelangelo, spinning the nunchucks on one finger, that I fucking knocked myself out.
You sure you didn't want to model it after Rocky after watching this movie though?
Oh,
She handled those nunchucks like with two hands, brother.
yeah, that was pretty cool. Oh, I mean, the way she was swung that was, that is the way hypothetically those are supposed to be used. Clock and
I
knock
was
away.
highly impressed. I'm like, they actually showed this girl how to do it, or she knew how to do it before she got on set, and they're like, sold, we're doing that.
Her chains were really long, though. My chains were not that long. I mean, between
The
the two
handcuff
sticks,
chains or the nunchuck chains?
both.
Important distinction, just making clear.
I know. That was fucked up though. If we want to talk about that, where Reggie just like instantly trying to like stick his dick in her ass, and in order to get some sleep, she handcuffs him and just leaves him like Gerald's game.
That was kind of funny. And then he still has a sexy dream about her later on. That was funny, especially with Jody reappearing, being like, Reg, we kind of need to talk. And Reggie's just like, I'm kind of in the middle of something here, brother. And Jody's just like, this is so messed up. I should not be in this dream with you right now.
Yeah. Like Jody got to see a whole bunch of shit he probably didn't want to. And that was after he went to hell. Or
Yep.
wherever they went to.
Well, it was good to see Bill Thornbury back, so I appreciated that. And just having some sort of humor like that pretty much worked for me.
Yes. Reggie's just a sex machine.
He's been feeling lonely for about 10 years now, Kevin.
Yeah. Since he killed all the people in his house. You mean your family? Whatever.
They blew him up, and now I want to blow myself up.
I love that. The description of his family has always been all the people in your house.
Yep. Which was wife and child.
Yeah.
But never the maid ever again.
No. Not since the child came about. Oh, wait, never mind.
Ooh.
Wait a second. That's not the way that works. You can't sneak him in past mom.
Nope, you cannot.
Speaking of which, I love his iconic boy. Like they never let that go.
Nope. And especially at one of my favorite parts is actually at the very end when they're like, it's over, run away. And then all of a sudden, Angus Scrimm jumps out and he's like, it's never over.
Yeah, right. And every time he says it, I just always want to reply back, girl.
Oh, God. You brought in a Drawn Together reference into a... This was not on my bingo card tonight, anybody. And yes, I am still actively working on bingo cards for 0-Point nights and Deadwire Live nights.
If you think I can't bring a hot black chick into a movie that has a hot black chick in it, come on now.
Gloria was stunning. She was very good. And also Sarah Scott Davis is Tanisha, her friend at the moment, too.
Yeah, they were both really cool. I was sad to see that she fucking got the brain drill, but somebody needed to.
Well, you almost have to in these movies. Somebody's got to get the brain spiked, and it can't just be the tall man.
Yeah, no, it really shouldn't be. It needs to be somebody because, like, it was fine when it was the tall man in part two. That
Yep.
was kind of, the yin to the yang. But now again, you get to see it as an homage back, or I'll call it an homage to the first one, or a callback to the first one.
Call back.
Yeah, yeah, callback because yeah. I like it. They didn't overdo it. And when they showed it, it was more brief than what it had been in the first two. You were getting to see it and you're like, oh, okay, there it is. But then they kept showing you more and more. So you didn't feel sad that you only got to see a few seconds of the blood shooting out of the dome or spraying out, whatever, sprinklering, because you got to see so much other cool shit, like the balls flying through somebody's face completely. That was dope. That was super dope.
Well, the sequence was actually longer in the movie, but they had to cut it due to the MPAA.
Oh, really?
Yep, it almost had an NC-17 rating, and they had to trim it down drastically in order to get an R rating.
Was this because of the boobies?
No, it was the death scene of Tanisha
Oh,
when she got hit with a ball and the blood was flying out. It was actually a longer sequence.
really?
Yep.
Oh, this was in the 90s. That's why.
Yep, it's 94, or well, 93 to 94 when they were going through some of this.
Tipper Gore and the parental advisory bullshit. Sorry, she fucked up horror films.
She jerked off the wrong people. She must have been on a list. I'm just saying.
Oh, without being too political, I'm just talking about the history of it. She went on this tirade, this to weird Christian right to protect the children from swearing and violence and whatever the fuck else, sex, and how awful and terrible the 80s were. Yet here we all are fucking 30, 40 years later missing the 80s terribly and talking about how wonderful they were. But in the 90s, she says, oh, no. We can't show any of that. So the FCC cracked down on everything, and the MPAA cracked down on everything, like really
Fucking
bad.
hippies.
Which is funny because at the same time, you could show more violence than you could ever before, but you could not show the tete. And you couldn't you couldn't say fuck. You could shoot somebody several times, but you couldn't say fuck more than once or you get an R rating.
And you can't have more than 3 or 4 thrusts before it's considered a porno. That's why Skinemax was such a big thing back then. You could get away with a little bit more, but still not a whole lot.
Oh, shit. I fucking hated all that crap. That's, again, one of the main reasons why I absolutely hated horror movies up until from like, shit, Freddy's Dead to Event Horizon. Like, everything was just crap.
There might have been a rare gem or two in between, but it was so few and far between with a good horror movie. And it's like, man. And then we had the direct-to-video market, which this largely succeeded on. It did have a limited theatrical release. It did not have a wide theatrical release. It should have had a chance in wider theaters. I think it actually would have played very well. But like in 94, it's like this was one of those rare gems. Like it sounds goofy, and it is goofy at times, but it's actually a decent damn good movie. Like there's a lot to like about this movie. The performances are really good. We can discuss the kid soon enough about that. I have my questions about him. Don't get me wrong, Kevin. Not you, Kevin Connors, the actor who played Tim. This isn't on him. They had him do some things as a character. I'm like, Don, I don't know what you were aiming for with that one. But that being said, like everybody else did a really good job. There was good character development between Michael, Reggie, Jody, the tall man. We got answers to plot points. We got answers, and we got opened up to interesting new avenues of where we're going forward from here. And it ends with a good cliffhanger. And it's just like, wow, this actually feels a lot more of an epic movie than it initially appeared to be. And it ends up paying off in a very good way. I think it pays off in spades. And the special effects in this one are top notch, man. Like the practical effects, the visual effects, like this particular scene, like holy cow, this movie does deliver. Yet it feels like it's weird. This movie feels like it's not as good as it should be, but it's a lot better than it should be at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to describe this particular entry because most people go from like, oh, part 2 was great, but we didn't like James LaGrosse. Oh, well, we really love the cast coming back for part 3, but at the same time, it didn't feel as awesome and epic as part 2. It's like the dichotomy between part 2 and 3 is this weird little apples to oranges thing, and I think they both work very well together. And then part 4 is the other slice of bread that puts the sandwich together, and I think it's a great quadrilogy. Part 5,
We don't talk about that.
I like Ravager, but in all honesty, because Don didn't direct it, I call that more of an epilogue than an actual 5th sequel.
Fair enough. But this I don't know, this really seemed like it fit well. I thought it was going to be an odd man out, or was going to make the second movie an odd man out, but it all fit well. Like you said,
narratively, it all ties together just fine.
Yes, it felt disconjointed and out of place when they bring Tim in, but it also felt right because, again, like you said, that's where we've seen Reggie have that sidekick throughout the entire time. So to have another one come in for him, it felt okay. It felt appropriate, and there was enough substance between them of Reg trying to like really get rid of Tim to keep him safe so it wasn't as repetitious. So it wasn't like
the orphanage scene.
Yes.
Hey, I'll give you $1,000. Can you take this kid off my hands?
He wasn't.
What is happening here?
They weren't just trying to make him Mike too, but it could have come off that way really easily.
Yep.
So, well, anyways, what else did you find for this one? Was there anything in this one that made it pop more for you than in the second one or the first one?
The stunts and the explosions, they flipped a freaking pink Hearst. And then they blew it the hell up. I am not kidding. They flipped a pink Hearst.
That was so fucking cool because I also wanted to be like Avon calling or Mary Kay.
Yep, a Mary Kay Hearst, basically. So freaking cool. I get such joy out of this freaking movie. I can't explain it. It's just one of my little it's one of my go-tos. It's one of my, I hate to say guilty pleasure, because I honestly think the first 2 movies are like way better, but this is a really good freaking movie.
Yeah.
So whenever I watch all of these together, it's like I always watch 1 through 4, no problem. And I'm looking forward to next week. So,
well, what's funny is usually by the time a movie gets to its second sequel, by the time you get to the third movie, like they peter out bad. Like to expect
something falls through on the third one on many of these movies.
Yeah, like albeit studio involvement with the new director, and they want everything repeated from the first 2 movies.
Terminator 3, Alien 3. Let's go down the list. Beverly Hills Cop Part 3.
Austin Powers Part 3. You
Well, it
know?
started with part 2, but yeah, I get your point on that one.
Yeah. By the time they hit part 3, they're just like, we're not even trying anymore.
Yep, we're just going for gags and making people gag.
Yeah. And
This coffee
eventually,
tastes a bit nutty.
so
I'm
no.
just saying. Everybody, if you've seen that movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Ah.
And none of you are going to drink coffee well the next day.
No, not without your fucking macchiatos and bird baskets.
Burt Baccarat.
Ah, that's another good connection. Well done. Well done. That was not intentional. But this movie, okay, so I was going to say my favorite example of a good franchise that by the time it hits the third movie, I'm done. And that was Hellraiser. When I saw Hellraiser 3, I was kind of like, this holds no majesty to the first two movies at all.
I still like Hellraiser 3, but I completely agree with you.
It
went way too much more into mainstream slasher movie sort of tropes.
Yeah,
That was the problem. I don't blame Clive for that. I think he was trying to navigate the waters of going mainstream versus keeping his main story he wanted to tell.
Yeah. But I could forgive it. Like, having seen the other 6, I could truly forgive part 3.
Wow, you did survive the whole franchise then. Ooh, brother.
Most of it. I think I tapped out after part 6.
I tapped out after the 5th one.
The 5th one, the 6th one had
after Bloodline. Bloodline's the last one. I'm like, I see what you're aiming for. I like it, but okay.
The 6th one had Kirsty come back.
That's right.
And it was actually Lawrence, but it wasn't Kirsty by any means.
Correct.
At all. I was like, I don't understand.
I think I only watched like half of that movie, and I'm like, I'm okay on this now.
Yeah, like she's an abuse victim to a shitty fucking detective.
I remember that. Yep.
I'm like, I don't like this, and she uses Pinhead to kill her husband for her. Yeah, I'm out.
No, thank you.
Yeah. So, but by the time that happened in part 3, I don't think I already know I didn't have any animosity towards this third movie like I did with the third Hellraiser. That would be my comparison right there. Is like, well, okay, if you want to compare this to the Hellraiser, yeah, I'd say consistency. This has a better third movie than Hellraiser does. Like Hellraiser had solid first and second movies. Like, to me, they're the same picture, kind of like Halloween 1 and 2, even though that was never intended to be.
Oh God.
But Hellraiser 1 and 2 to me it's like it's the same picture. I wish the Hellbound Heart had part 2 incorporated into it, but it does not.
You're telling me about that one.
Because the Hellbound Heart's only like 96 pages. Hellraiser's a really quick read.
I thought it was like 94.
Yeah, something like that. But this maintains the quality of the first 2. The third Hellraiser does not. It's got tropes to it. It adds a little bit neat mythology to it as far as having a background to a point for Pinhead,
right.
or his human side.
I am the way.
Right. But this, you find out a little bit more about what the balls are, and then where Tall Man comes from and what his actual plan is. Like, it's not to take over the world, it's to take over the fucking galaxy, like existence. He wants death to roll over life. And you're kind of like, okay, all right,
that's a little bit different for a villain.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm kind of good with that. That's exceedingly bad. Like, we thought it was bad when he just wanted to kill everyone on Earth. Now it's everything everywhere. Huh. So, like, imagine all those dwarves across the infinite species, across the cosmos.
Goddamn Jawas. Watch out.
Jawas.
Phantasm's coming for you, Star Wars.
Jawas on crack.
No kidding. And cannibalistic.
Jawas off of crack, addicted to crack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm barking.
All
like
you need
that.
is a quad barrel shotgun, and if there's 2 or 3 of them up in a tree, just shoot up once and they just drop like flies.
That was so funny.
It cracks me up every damn time.
But at the same time, like anybody who's ever been peppered with a shotgun knows not to do that.
Yeah, pretty much.
It hurts.
I've had an old shell explode in my face from firing a shotgun. It didn't like do anything to me, but it was just like it felt like just dirt flying everywhere. It scared the crap out of me. My dad was like, "Yeah, that happens on these older shells."
I'd shit my pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, my cousin accidentally peppered me once. It was so hot. It's like ah. What comes up does come down.
Indeed.
Except for these balls. There were no balls on anyone's chin in this movie, was there?
Nope.
Nope. All right. So if you had balls on a chin for tonight's bingo card, cross
You
that one
lost.
off. Aw.
That's gonna fall under O for no balls.
No balls. My Benjamin is trying to clog itself up, piece of shit. Anyway, I digress.
So everybody in the next like few weeks we'll be introducing a bingo card for a couple of our shows.
That'll be cool. Because really, I mean, I don't even know what I'm going to say half the time.
Me neither. Or Chad, or Skeeter, or any of our guests that we bring on.
Felching just kind of pops out. Happens when
Just
it happens. Skullduggery, you know, I don't wake up and think about, you know what, I'm going to talk about fucking somebody in the eye socket today.
Or you bringing up any sort of strange sexual stories from your high school era?
Wayne.
Is that what his name was?
Yes.
Understood.
Wayne
That answers
Mountain
quite a few
Whaler.
questions, Kevin.
Wayne Mountain Whaler, the guy that fucked a pig and a goat or a sheep at my high school in my freshman year. Yeah, 94.
Did they look like one of the 3 idiots that were trying to kill the kid in this movie?
No, not as greasy. Not as well, maybe as greasy, but not as used car salesman-ish.
Especially the one guy in the suit.
he screamed, "I'm gonna sell you a new car. You're gonna drive away in a car you love." Don't mind that was supposed to fall off.
Oh hell no. But just wait, there's more. I'm gonna sell you an extended service plan that'll cover only like 1,000 more miles or 1 more month.
1 more month.
Whichever comes first.
Oh, dude. You'd be surprised how fast you drive 1,000 miles.
Bro, you're telling me.
At least in my job, like 1,000 miles goes by really quick.
Yep.
All right. Anyways.
There's a lot of fun to this movie, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm 0-pointing already. I apologize.
That's what we do around here.
But the last thing I want to point out before I forget is adding the mythology of what's inside the balls that Jody gets to explain. The shrunken bodies of all the deceased that he steals. He takes the brain and sticks it inside of the ball, so it's able to like pilot. They're little slaves to pilot the orbs.
The spheres. Yep.
I think that's so cool. They showed it too.
Yep, the compression of the bodies, taking out the tinier brains, and then moving them into the spheres. Or they're really called more like sentinels at that point. So not all of the dwarves eventually move up into sphere form. I think some do if they are able to handle everything and follow orders like they have.
Cool.
And that's what they did to Jody. That's how he's still surviving as a Sentinel.
Oh. All right. I thought he
Spoiler
just
alert.
managed that. I didn't know if they'd turn him into a dwarf or what. It just because you don't get to see Jody die necessarily. It's just like reality switches.
That's the thing, is because they even mentioned in the movie, like, don't believe everything you see. Not everything is as it seems. But the truth requires a lot more patience and understanding of what's really happening. And so that's the whole Jody even putting it that way basically says there's things that have probably happened with me. You have no idea what the hell's going on right now. You got to do a little more digging. There's a little bit more mystery, a little more research. It opens up a whole nother like layer of context and subplot that's going on. And it's like, wow, in one line, you just made this movie even more deeper than I was even expecting when I first saw this, like so many years ago.
Again,
And that always stuck with me. It's like, damn, there's way more going on here than even the movie's telling you. And from like the first one to the second one to this one, and then into the fourth one, you watch all of these in a row, like what we're doing right now, and it's just going to make you go, wow, this is actually a very intelligent franchise. This is kind of neat. And the consistency is there, but I think after once we hit judgment, I think you might like the fourth one as the best one.
really. All right.
Possibly.
I'm still clinging on to part 2. I liked part 2 a lot. Although I gotta admit, I like having A. Michael Baldwin back. Oh heck, we have an Atomic Patriot in the chat. So, although we didn't have enough of Michael in this movie, like I said, like he gets taken out or taken hostage throughout most of the movie, which is kind of shitty, but what are you going to do? Now, in that regard, my question to you is, because I don't know if I took a pee break, whatever, why does Michael have an orb in his head? Dude. Am I frozen or are you just not hearing me? I think Jeff froze. Or am I frozen?
Is
I
there
don't know.
some technical issues going on here?
Yeah, there you are. Now I can hear you.
Is it me, Kevin?
I thought so. You froze. You were defrozen, or at least I couldn't hear you. Can you hear me now?
Let me check on my end here really quick.
All right. I'll tell them that joke I know. So I was born in Hollister, California in 1980, March 2nd, 1982. And anyway, it all went downhill from there. Anyway, the good part I was talking about was trying to ask him was, at one point we see Michael get kidnapped by the tall man. He's strapped down to the chair, and the tall man's been really ominous, like for the last 2 movies, about wanting to get his hands on Michael and what we're going to do with him, and basically letting Reg keep Michael for the time being. Like, I'll be patient. We'll just collect him later. And eventually you see Michael is lying on this chair or this medical gurney. And the tall man's got this like big orb that's going to like spike out and pull something out of his face. And it is one of those metallic sentinels. And you're just kind of like, wait, what? Michael has one of those in his head too? And that's where I just kind of like, my night blew up crazy, and my kids went nuts. And I was like, wait, what's happening in the movie? And I lost track of time. So I don't remember exactly what happened to Michael. And that was going to be the question I asked Jeff when he gets back in here. But it looks like he's going to be farting around with his internet for a while, and a while longer, and a little while longer. I don't know. At least it's not just me. So, but you know what? I feel bad. Should I skip to the head to the bad for him? No. All right. So I'll tell you what. In the meantime, if you guys are watching on YouTube right now, I know YouTube's having a bit of problems, but if you're watching via the chat, if you've seen this one before, throw in your comments, your opinions about Phantasm 3. If you haven't seen part 3, tell me about the second one. Tell me what you think. Be a little bit proactive, or not proactive. Be proactive, viewers. Be interactive here. If you're live, take advantage of it. Be part of the show. Since Jeff decided he didn't want to be part of the show, hang out with me. I'll keep an eye on it. We'll throw it up and we'll talk about it. So, and I'm trying to think what else was good in this movie. We talked about Reg being a sex machine. We get to see him have sex again. Bless his heart. He gets down in just about every movie except for the first one. Let's see here. I'm going to skip ahead to the bad because he's not getting back on. They add a little bit of extra in this movie. And I want to say that's a good thing for the franchises. They always add a little bit of extra flair to each movie to make it more, here he comes, to make it more, adds more mythology to it. And that's what a good horror franchise does, is it adds mythology in each installment. And in this one, they raise zombies, for lack of a better term. And they are as intelligent as they were when they were alive, which is not very intelligent at all.
Until they start to obey commands from the tall man. Otherwise, he basically lets them run loose like a bunch of crazy idiots.
Yeah. And they're almost entertaining, I guess.
This is where it gets a little on the too campy side for me, to be real with you.
Yeah, like they were kind of dumb. The lady getting the sentinel through the face, that was super fun. I will not turn my nose at that. But these two idiots lasting as long as they did, no, they should have just died a long time before. Stayed dead a long time before. Did you black out again?
God dang, is my computer going crazy again?
Yes. But at least it's always like stopping you in a like chiseled position. So, but oh, I see you moving though. Yeah, they were a little campy, but at the very least, they were so over the top that they fit the makeup. Like the makeup was so good, so scary looking, that their flair and insanity just kind of added to it and made it more terrifying in a way if you were that kid. And he's all frozen up again. Let's see. The bad. If I had to pick a bad, they try to, like Jeff said earlier, they make Angus Scrimm much more menacing. The tall man is much more prevalent in this movie than he was in the first two, which was great considering your main villain is an older gentleman, and isn't as mobile as, say, Kane Hodder was or Robert Englund. They could move around quickly. Well, Kane's pretty fast, but Robert's very nimble. Angus, not so much. Between being older and taller, like he's not the fastest dude. So they had to do a little bit of work with editing on him, but they at least gave him a chance to shine and show that menacing, show his power. They need to show him, or could have shown him a little bit more grabby, like grab the people and manipulate them with one arm, throwing, smashing, whatever else. But instead, what they do, there's a lot of like put out my arm and then backhand you without bending, like very rigid violence. And it looks cool to a point, but after a while, you're just kind of like, just because I can't see the wire doesn't mean I really know that wire's there. and didn't pull that guy going fucking 60 miles an hour after an old man just hit him. Like, come on now. So I mean that part of the violence wasn't necessarily believable. I don't know. There wasn't a whole lot bad to this. The only cheesiness that I really took away from it was the kid. I don't like kids in horror films. I don't like kids in general in movie for the most part. Shit, I've got 3 and I barely like my own. But there was nothing bad in this movie that made me turn my nose away from it. Nothing that was going to make me say, you know what, I'm sorry I bought this movie, or this, I'm glad I didn't watch this for the last 20 years that I've owned it. No, I'm still sorry I didn't. I'm glad that I've watched it, but it didn't strike as hard for me as the second one did. The second one was kind of like this that was their way of saying, hey, you know what? We decided we know what we're going to be, and we're going to throw a whole bunch more violence into this. Not just weird confusion and anxiety. We're actually going to throw some real gore. We're going to throw some monsters in here. We know what we want to be. And they did that well. And I think they did it best in part 2. And they let some of it go here. And I think it has a lot to do with, like I said, with the 90s, for as much as they wanted to say that they were extreme, they were actually really quite timid in the 90s with what they could show you.
This is true.
Yeah. So if you have anything bad that you would like to talk about, I say hit it now while you can.
My God, like we're having some it's Wi-Fi issues. I should just hardwire the connection here from going forward. I did not have time to do that today, but the only thing I kind of have a drawback on are the 3 idiot zombies. Although I did get a kick out of the chick hitting up Reggie at the end of the movie, so to speak, and wanting to get a little taste. But I liked Rocky getting a chance to beat her ass and knock her down and kill her dead. And you know, honestly, the kid a little bit. Sorry, Kevin Connors. They did have you play a little bit on the goofy side, just a tad, which I think is unfortunate. However, it's not a knock on his acting talents. I think it served a good purpose. They're trying to give you somebody a little bit relatable and likable, like Mike was in the original movie, and to feel like, oh, the loop is now starting over with him, especially with how the movie ends. They grab him and pull him through a mirror. And so it feels like, oh, the more things change, we're back in another time loop or some sort of like cycle that keeps going around and around. So I feel there is an explanation. It just doesn't feel like it was very straightforward with that explanation.
Which is consistent of this franchise. They're not very forthcoming with explanations.
Yeah, they want to make you think. That's why at the beginning of each movie, they do the phantasm definition, like dream, creature, yada, 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 the whole spiel, like we had at the beginning of our episode. I actually had to clip out the full, like, 2-minute trailer into, like, some sort of a cohesive trailer of sorts, 'cause there wasn't. I like to do TV spot commercials, and it just didn't work out as well as I would have liked. But I think it did a pretty good job teasing what the movie was about. And I like Michael coming back. I felt like he wasn't as used as much as I would have liked. However, part 4 more than makes up for that.
Now, I have to ask, when I tried to ask you, but you blanked out. What was going on with the ball in Michael's head?
You mean at the very end of the movie where he runs off with the yellow blood? That
Yeah.
becomes a little more apparent in part 4, what's going on with him. He is being kind of basically modeled to become the new tall man, so
Ooh,
to speak.
neat.
And so this whole story of part 4 will explain it in better detail and actually make sense what's going on. But the whole idea is, like, throughout all these movies, what you think is happening isn't exactly what's happening, or maybe it is, but in a different way than you're thinking. And so it keeps messing. These movies are all about the mind trips and the mind fucks, so to speak. Pardon the language, but they like to take what you think is happening and twist it around, and this is actually what really happened. Like Jody dying in the first one. oh, well, he died in a car accident. Could it have been part of the accident involving the tall man? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know for sure. And so it's kind of like that back and forth of you are seeing something going on with Michael. Maybe what you think you're seeing is not what the audience is seeing, but the audience is understanding something bad's going on. So it likes to mess around with what you're seeing. And Ravager really goes crazy into that. And it gets a bit heavy-handed with, oh, is this real or is this a dream or is this dementia? What is going on here?
Oh, fun. That's gonna drive.
You may like Ravager actually, but I think part 4 is the best is the best entry to end the franchise with, in my opinion.
I dig it. Oh, it did plug the piece of shit. Sorry. I digress. Aha.
But let's hit judgment time, Kevin, before I lose my internet again.
Again. All right.
That's a whole lot of balls.
Yep. But none are on his chin. None are on his chin.
On his forehead. One is kind of near the chin.
Near, but like he could rest on it.
Yep.
Not chin it. But anyway, this was cool. I don't like ever seeing Reggie get hurt, but he seemingly dies at the end of almost every movie.
Yeah.
So
seemingly.
Yeah, I'm not terribly worried about this. This just looks like it sucks. Like really bad. That and I've seen this picture, so I wasn't like shocked at this. That was one of my downsides to it. But otherwise,
when you're watching a movie in hindsight, it's like, oh, I remember those promotional pictures from Fangoria from like 1994.
Yes, exactly. Though they look much more HD now. Fantastic.
Well, that's how I even knew there was a third Phantasm movie, was Fangoria magazine.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, I don't even remember if I saw the commercials or the trailers. I really
This
don't
was
recall at
direct
all.
to video for most people, so
Yeah. Box art, I'm sure I would have seen. Poster, I'm sure. But no, I don't recall seeing this in my local theater at all.
yeah.
We wouldn't have been within the reach of limited release.
Neither were we in Wisconsin.
But gosh, as far as the score goes, I don't remember what I did last week. I think I might have done 6.8. Honestly, I'm gonna give this one a 7. I didn't dislike this at all. I thought it was pretty good. I think that the series so far has gotten really low scores, and golly, I think it's kind of unfair. Like it's better than what it's been given credit for. At least I think so anyway.
I'd agree with you on that.
They are really good with their practical effects. There's no CGI to speak of whatsoever. And it's fun. Like you don't roll your eyes so hard. Like when the kid shoots somebody or throws the disc. Yeah, okay, that was a little cheesemoso, but
Yeah.
it was all right. And the fact that the guy just sat there and his head just kind of tilted back with the cut, that was entertaining. I couldn't turn my nose at it. So if my eyes did tilt a little bit, it was okay.
Yeah. Me, I'm gonna go about a 8.5. I always get a kick out of this one. I actually prefer the second one, but this is a great follow-up. And I like Reggie. I like A. Michael Baldwin coming back. Jodie's back. Angus Scrimm is great as the tall man. And I like the inclusion of like Rocky in this one. It gives a different dynamic to everything. And they actually replicate a scene from Phantasm 2 where they're riding along in the Hemi-Cuda. The kid's like half asleep. And then they see Rocky, but they actually stop and actually pick her up instead of, oh, we drove by. I saw her. And then all of a sudden she's in the back seat. So it's a nice little play on some previous movies and just doing something enough different. And so I felt like they evolved the movie very well. They evolved the mythos. The characters have some good arcs going on, and there's just it feels like there's more to it. And they answered a bunch of questions, but they also then presented a bunch of new questions to ask. And that's where they set up Phantasm Oblivion like a champ. And I think it ends up playing out very, very well. This is one of my favorite movie collections in my entire collection. I love the whole franchise. I enjoy it all, and proud to crack open the DVD, even though I got like 2 different Blu-rays around here, and I just enjoy it. So it's a pretty good goddamn movie, everybody. Enough to make you think, and enough to sit back and enjoy some popcorn and watch some bloody murders happen.
Yeah, this is a popcorn flick.
Yep. Definitely some homages to like Evil Dead and Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi and stuff like that. They had clear indications in part 2. They did some more here, not so overt or obvious. They didn't use any names or Necronomicons or anything like that. But the zombies kind of had a little bit of like Deadite flair to them. I think that's about where the closest you could get an homage to, outside of the humor with Reggie the Shotgun and former Ice Cream Man.
Former Ice Cream Man. Bless his heart.
Endless supply of cash.
$1,000.
I just need one hotel room and one bed, please.
He's such a sleaze.
Reggie is so big.
That was fun. That killed me. That killed me inside.
They were having some fun on that set, I'll tell you that.
I was like,
not in the naughty way, just in the fun way.
Yeah, like now I know he's dreaming.
Yep.
Said no black woman to a white man ever.
Oh, come on, Rocky. You don't like a little vanilla?
That was awful.
That was so terrible.
Straight awful. Shame on them.
Well, and her saying at one point, some people just don't know when to give it up. And he just looks at her and he's like, "You're telling me." It's like some things may not age the best, but I find them to be fucking hilarious.
Oh, sure. Yeah, because you know you're not supposed to fucking talk that way. You get your ass kicked. Bless him heart. That's why we love Reggie, though. He's awesome.
Yep. Reggie's our man, and thoughts and prayers to Reggie. We still have the description down below. In our description, you can send a letter to his PO box. They do check those out, and I believe they still have the GoFundMe going for him.
Yeah,
and that should be linked as well in our description below. So special shout out to Reggie, and also happy birthday, Don Coscarelli. Today is your birthday.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So, got anything else on this though, Kevin, before we sign off and say goodnight before internet's crap out?
I don't think so, man. Otherwise,
it's making me mad. This is like one of my favorite movies. It's like when we did They Live, and I'm doing it from a hotel and my internet just sucked.
We'll do it again. You know that. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Or they'll just give us a reason to do it again.
Excellent. Love it.
All right, man. Well, let's get you someplace where you don't need internet.
To my PlayStation 5 where I could play games offline.
Correct.
Well, thank you everybody for tuning into 0 Point Reviews for Phantasm 3. Next week, Phantasm 4 Oblivion, which is a really fun and interesting entry into the franchise. Answers a bunch of questions and gives you even more questions about what the fuck is going on. So on that note, like, share, subscribe this video on out there, and also down below, throw a comment. You got any favorite moments from this movie? We'd like to hear about it as well. And where you rank these movies, that would be totally cool to hear. So please do that. And on that note, thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you all on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.
Get out.